Why, hello there, everybody. Here we are once again. Well, not once again. We've got a brand new party, and we're going to be giving a shot at a... Oh, one of my ears just went weird. Let's hope that doesn't stay a thing. Yes, we're going to try and do some stuff in Ardenall. The Halls of Ardenall, which is a mega dungeon. There's lots of bits and pieces. It's a very big book. I think it's about 1,200 pages, so we're bound to not get to the end of it. And as we know with all of our parties, we're almost certainly going to lose, I don't know, all of them. Probably quite quickly, possibly in the first room. We'll be using our standard array of changes. So, what are these standard array of changes? Hit points after a fight. If you took damage during that fight, you regenerate 2 points of health. It's just kind of like patching yourself up after the fight. I might add some gear to represent that kind of thing, and have that burned down. So it's not just always you've got to use some bandages or something in order to make it go away. So that's the first thing. Once we reach 0, we start taking damage on the randomly across physical stats. And each time you take a hit to a physical stat, there is a chance of a permanent reduction in that stat. 4 or 5 is a -1. 6 is a -2. 1 to 3 is just it's just damaged for the time being, but it'll heal. And when we take physical stat damage, restoring health takes a week per point, unless you have a magical healer and you spend money, right? Also, same thing. If one of your stats is damaged, your hit points don't restore naturally. You have to cast a spell. And this is important because if you sleep, you get back. If you get a good sleep, so you're able to actually rest, and you got some kind of food, etc., 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 you get all your hit points back. So hit points more kind of works as a fatigue mechanic than a wound mechanic in this cell. But if you took damage to one of your stats, then your hit points don't restore after a rest. Because you're too busy kind of groaning with bits leaking out of you, and it's not very good. Next major change is that we're going to be running magic usage die. So level 1 you get a D4, level 2 you get a D6, level 3 you get a D6 and a D4, so a D4 being for level 2 spells, etc. You get it makes sense. This is just to give wizards and magic users a bit more utility, because we want to be able to get deeper into the dungeon. Finally, we're going to use the henchman mechanic, so the henchman can support an attack, which gives for character a advantage to that attack. They can harass an enemy token, which will give the enemy a disadvantage to the attack. They can be used for a normal item, right? So you could go, oh, I'm run out of torches. Henchman, do you have any torches? Yes. And in all those cases, you roll the usage dice, and on a 1 or 2, it drops down a step. So at the moment, we're starting with D8s. We'll say that's like an average, a good henchman. So like a good henchman will cost you, after the first adventure, say, maybe like, we'll see how much gold we get. But I was running it last time, and I was looking like 500 gold per henchman. A henchman only lasts for 1 adventure, or 1 delve, I should say. After that, they will leave and go back to their families with all of their money. They count as a half share, which is why I normally run 2, but I thought, it's a new party, starting out. We had some pretty good success in the vampire layers with them. So, yeah. I thought, well, we could probably run with 1 and live with the painful math addition. Next change. All weapons do a d6 damage. Well, light weapons do 2d6 disadvantage. Heavy weapons do 2d6 advantage. If there are any super heavy weapons, they do 2d6 damage. And a normal weapon does 1d6 damage. So, a sword, for instance. Swords, spears, normal axes, these are war hammers. These are all normal weapons. Because war hammers here are like, you know, they're not the warhammer kind of big stone war hammers. They're, yeah, the pointy on one end, flat on the other, hit a gentleman with lots of metal armor and they'll die. So that's what we got there. And I think that's really it. Oh, and for cleric starts off with a spell because it makes them a bit more useful. It means they're not just like a slightly rubbish, not just a slightly rubbish fighter. Something else. Thieves get to use dexterity for melee and missile. So that's something else. They don't get a damage bonus off their dex. That would still be off of the strength. But this thief has no strength. So that's one more thing. And I've upped the dice step for hit points for everything except for wizards. So wizards still get a d4. Clerics and thieves get a d6. Clerics get a d8. Fighters get a d10. Right. So that should hopefully get us a bit deeper into this here dungeon. And we're going to read the descriptions, and I've done a bit of pre-checking. So, yeah, there are a number of different entries into Ardenall. We'll be taking the default one, which is going through this big old pyramid. It's not a pyramid like in the Lost City. It's just it's mostly empty, right? So there's a big old pyramid on top of one of the entrances into the dungeon. There are 2 routes down, and we've been told that we should go down the left one because down the right one is certain doom, and that's kind of like from the history of the location. And if I recall correctly, let me check a list. We're going to be trying to rescue somebody as well, as part of our little thing. Tombs, that's not what we're looking for. Captives within Ardenall. So we're looking at people in level 3. Oh, it's okay. I'll be looking for somebody in level 3. We definitely won't find more. Well, we might. I don't think we will, though. Name, description, interested party. So there's a... Wait, really? Okay. There's a request to... from the Temple of Mitra in Newmarket, which is on the hex map. We won't start off with the hex map. We're going straight for the dungeon. From the Temple of Mitra to locate Lillian, the Canon of Mitra. And they will reward a party that returns with the Canon 1,000 gold pieces, right? Any adventurers returning with them. It's just like, so they've got this wee bit of paper and it's got a picture of Mitra on it, and they're like, rescue this lady. And we will be very pleased. A picture of Lillian, not Mitra. Right. So we will hopefully find her. Maybe in this delve, maybe not. So we will be going down there to try and rescue her as a side gig. There are also lots of options to expand this dungeon. And one thing that really kind of grabbed me for this is the flavour. If we get there, we'll get there, and you'll discover it with me. And it'll be exciting. But suffice to say, it's not just a fantasy dungeon. And that's what I like in my dungeons. So we're climbing up this here pyramid. Marble steps rise on each side of a pyramid to a central platform. The 120-step rise at a 22.5 degree. We don't have a dwarf, so we're not that specific on it. 22.5 degree angle and are worn in the center from traffic. Several of the steps are cracked, but as marble slabs rest on granite, there is little chance of danger from decrepitude. So here's attentive climbers may notice some stuff. Are my climbers attentive? So we've got one wisdom of 13, and we are broadly not the smartest bunch. We're kind of all averagely intelligent, with our magic user being the most intelligent with a 12, and everyone else at a 10. I got a really average set of numbers for most of these characters. One thing that's interesting about doing the burn down of stats is for in kind of OSE and BX and whatnot, you can exchange 2 points for 1 point into your primary attribute. But if you're burning down stats, that's like removing 2 additional kind of like wound points for your character. So it's an even bigger decision then. And I've kind of decided that you can only put you can only move physical attributes into physical stats and non-physical attributes into non-physical stats. So you can't take like 2 points out of strength and put it into intelligence if you want to turn a strong character into a wizard. It just seemed to make sense to me whilst I was doing the characters. I of course have my trusty Thaco interpretator for monsters, and I think, yeah, we're good to carry on. Oh yes, we're trying to figure out if any of our characters were going to be attentive. We'll just make a basic intelligence check, wisdom check actually. Maybe we'll do a wisdom check because that probably makes wisdom over like smarts. So their wisdom is 13. So a 10, yeah, they're being attentive. So we'll notice. Attentive climbers will notice that an image has been carved into the exact center of each riser. 4 images alternate, such that there are 30 examples of each image. Okay. Right. Attentive will notice. Oh, right. Okay. So the images alternate as you go through these steps. So there is an ibis head of. Do we know who this person is? So they're attentive, but do they have any idea who they are? That is just a flat wisdom roll. No, so they don't know who this is. So there's this ibis head pointing both arms as a robed human, at a robed human descending a staircase. There is a image of the this ibis-headed creature pointing its left arm at a bowing human who is presenting the god with a plate of scrolls and coins. There's an ibis head spewing forth a long scroll inscribed with abstract writing into the hands of a grateful human. And there's a baboon squatting with an open book on its thighs, holding a pen in its paw, and gazing at a group of humans. A feather appears between the baboon and the people. So, what do these depict? Let's have a quick think, because they've got words in here that say things. And we'll just... So these are all supposed to be clues to your players as to stuff they can do. Okay. So again, this is stuff that I'm going to know as a GM, but the characters might not. A lot of these are further on in the dungeon. Right, so let's carry on. We drag ourselves up these stairs. 2 of them are in plate so they're probably feeling a bit toasty up here. As they reach for the pyramid platform, the kind of flat surface of this pyramid. So it's not so much a pyramid, it's more of a... Oh, what are they called? You know, the ones that have the flat top. I can't remember. I do know the word, it's somewhere in me, but they've called it pyramids anyway. So, the 30-foot square platform is sheathed in white marble. A dark grey granite canopy rises 30 foot above the platform to accommodate the enormous cult statue of Toph. Purple porphyry columns support the canopy. Crouching at the foot of the column is a heavily pitted 4-foot tall statue of a crouching baboon, which is with its mouth slightly open as if barking. I don't think baboons bark, do they? I don't know, I've not listened to a baboon now that I think about it. So they look at this statue, and the statue is a 20-foot tall statue of Toph, representing the epitome of a sculptor's trade, carved out of a solid block of porphyry, Porphyry. A more professional individual would ask Google how that's pronounced, but I can't be bothered. Hopefully I'll not come up against the word again during this, but we'll see. This is the second time already, so I'm feeling a bit concerned about that. The statue is truly awe-inspiring. 2 grapefruit-sized lumps of shaped jade serve as eyes. The god's arms rest flat at its sides, but may, yeah, okay. There are some instructions. Oh goodness, my monitor turned off. There are some instructions. So inhabitants, right. So, colour of the stairs. Directly in front of the statue of Toph is a 10-foot by 5-foot section of pavement that is obviously distinct from the rest of the platform. The section slides in two directions, but is only... Yeah, right, okay. So, let's go back to those pictures that we saw. Toph points both arms at a robed human descending a staircase. Toph points his left arm at a bowing human who is presenting the god with a plate of scrolls and coins. Ibis Toph spewing forth a long scroll inscribed in abstract writing into the hands of grateful humans. A baboon squatting with a feather. Do they know? Does Morblin know what that means? 4. He's got an idea. So Morblin is like, of course, an image of this deity. They have a recorder of the black book. Of the Black Book of the Dead, the feather of Mat or Justice. The feather is the feather of Mat or Justice. They're like, the others are probably kind of like, oh, how interesting. Yes. And these must be some kind of sign. So, given the first one says Toph is pointing both arms at a robed human descending a staircase. So I reckon that's going to mean that they're going to take a look at these arms, and they find out as they look at the arms that they can be manipulated. Right, okay, if this wasn't at this point at the start of the adventure, I'd probably roll to go, oh, do they think to manipulate the arms? But they got to manipulate the arms or else they're going back to base, confused, and then get told what to do by someone. So they take the arms, and they point them straight as for kind of straight up as they are. So they point them at kind of a person, and nothing happens. And then they rotate them up a bit more because they can tell they can keep on giving. As they rotate them up, point them up. A grinding sound, so there's this as the cover slides to the east, revealing a staircase descending to the south. Should both arms be rotated, they point out parallel to the floor. Right, okay. The cover will... okay, right. So we've put them both straight, so because that's what the pictures did. So we put them out straight. Yeah. We put them out straight, and they slide... The thing slides to the west, revealing a different staircase and leading down and to the north. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So we've put them straight. It's like it is in the picture of the people going down the stairs, and this staircase is opened up. Awesome. Okay. Those offering an invocation to Toph while manipulating the arms receive a blessing. I don't think that they do that. Okay, so covering the stairs, this section slides in two directions. Okay, right, so we've done that. And yeah, we light our first torch. So this character, Morbin may as well light it, so they kind of like they probably don't have their axe out yet anyway, so Morbin lights a torch. I was going to download the dungeon tracker, which would have been not download, I would have downloaded it, but print it out, but I don't have it, so we're just going to have to mark down on here for now. No, we won't. Must have a piece of scrap paper somewhere. 1 second, world. Let me go and be a little bit more professional about all this. Am I just going to grab some post-it notes? No. Oh, that's good paper. That's standard paper. Right. As is the way. Alright, here we go. This will help us keep track. So, heading down. Turn 1. UP2 stairs. So I'm not drawing this part because basically it's kind of like a vertical map, right? So the map is like that. Composed of the party head down these stairs cautiously beneath the dim gloom of torchlight, slowly moving away from the sun and the ambient light outside. It takes a little time for them to reach the point where, if it weren't for the torch, they would be in absolute darkness. The stairs are composed of rough granite blocks. They have clearly seen heavy use and descend deeply to the north. The ceiling of the stairwell was originally plastered and decorated, but only tiny shreds of plaster remain. I also kind of imagine it's quite sooty on the roof now as well. Not as in the puppets, but as in like the top of it will have been scorched by many travellers with torches. It doesn't give me kind of anything on how long they are, but okay. At the head of the stairs, an iron handle will... Oh, okay. So there's an iron handle next to the stairs. So, this descends down to there. We enter a tiny room that has another set of stairs. Well, another set of stairs now going in the opposite direction. For obvious reasons, there's only so much room that you have in a pyramid to go in one direction. And I mean, like the movement, not the musical group. And let me just check something. Okay. So cutting down to half an hour really means that you can end up in a situation where not very much happens at all in a single sitting. Not that it matters. Half hour or an hour, it's all the same stuff. Right. So we continue down this here corridor. Well, this here set of stairs into the dark. As we go down, we can see an array. Every now and again, there's graffiti on the walls. One of them, as we go past, can they all read? Yes, they can all read because they all got 10 intelligence. One of them says, Plumthorn rules these. Plumthorn rules these halls. Obey him. Written 4 foot from the ground. A reference. Yeah. Plumthorn. We should probably make a little note of that on here. Plumthorn rules these halls. Can the party discern anything else from it? We'll use intelligence. And it's probably beneath Jane Swift-Heart's notice. So we'll probably have the thief kind of think about it. Intelligence 2. Okay, that's a bit low down on the ground. Is 4 foot. Maybe it's some kind of someone of a diminutive height. They say. And the others are like, possibly Blake Savage. I didn't replace the names for the last set of characters that I had on here, so I'm gonna have to change the characters that you've not seen for the vampire dungeon. Well, replace their names because I forgot because I'm an idiot, as we are all well aware. Right. We continue down the stairs. They're equally worn. Clearly, they've seen many thousands of people traipsing through their hallowed halls. The deeper we get, the less graffiti we see, until it opens up into a large chamber. So I'm going to say that this kind of walk down here has taken us a whole 6 turns, and we've had to have a little wait on the stairs, and we're going to use another torch. Right, I think that's probably sensible. These stairs are quite long, and it's hard moving in the pitch dark with just the light from a torch spluttering and crackling as you go. And it opens up into a large chamber, a 20 foot by 20 foot square and 10 foot tall, brightly lit. From this, so the ceiling is nice and bright, and it's shining down. Does the magic user recognize this? Intelligence check. No, they don't recognize it. Whatever plaster once covered these walls has long disappeared. The walls are bare stone and are covered with graffiti. If we take a look at some of it, it was 6. Gregor was brave, but the dust took him, it says. In Arcontean. So one of these guys knows. Well, Blake Savage knows Arcontean. I kind of presume most of these are probably Arcontean because that's probably the default language around here. So this is, they probably all know it, and any other language is additional. 14. Set is waiting and watching. Set is waiting and watching. What was the previous one we got? Gregor was brave, but the dust took him. What's the dust? We'll have to find that out. I was watching someone talking about how they always kind of like forward read, and this is something due to my dyslexia I don't really have to worry about because my brain is dumb and it doesn't like reading at the best of times, let alone reading ahead. Set is waiting and watching. Okay. Well, the characters have no idea what that is. I mean, I just know it as a reference to an Egyptian god. The only reason I have any idea about that is that, was it in The Mummy? If it wasn't, it was definitely in Vampire the Masquerade. Ooh, stop turning off. I'm sure everyone else has encountered this with their computers at some point, where like sometimes the monitor just will not go into sleep mode, and other times it will, like really well. I don't know why. I presume it's some kind of hanging Chad. Okay, right, so we're kind of up to this room. Oh, right, okay. Okay. So, right, well, we've not finished the description of this room. To the left of the stairwell, there's a circle made of bits of stone that has been used as a fire pit, scorched charcoal, and bones can be found inside. 3 in 8. 3, okay. D6. 6. That looks to me to be the worst possible dice roll I could have possibly got. Well, maybe not. As we're there, we hear kind of cranking coming up the corridor, coming up from ahead, and there's nowhere to hide in here. The place is really bright, and we see. Let's do a reaction check. I mean, we're not really expecting anything. Okay, we're not going to be very pleasant. There's 6 beastmen. Well, there's 7 beastmen. 6 of them are in leather armor, looking kind of tough, and one of them is in chainmail with a shield. And I look at them. Have we got an entrance on factions? I expect we probably do. General information, rumors, factions, beastmen. Right. What do we expect for beastmen? So, how much of this do we know as a party? I mean, we've got a magic user who has arcane lore. Let's say David Hands, Mr. Hands, probably has kind of like local lore. Imagine they're from the local area, so they might know some details. 13, they don't know nothing. But let's quickly have a look. Many generated. So there's just like so the higher level is like, you know, so we don't know any of this. That's fascinating. Oh, all this fascinating stuff. What I'd like to know is attitudes towards adventurers. Here we go. Beastmen are not exactly evil. And if a patrol is encountered outside of its home turf, it is. So yeah. For the gentleman in the chainmail is like who are you? And I think in this case, Jane is no, but again, we said David is more local, so David's gonna we are adventurers. We're here to try and rescue some poor souls who have been lost here. If they have been lost here, they are almost certainly gone. The halls will have taken them. Hopefully not. So they look as they go. Well, there's a fee to get down. We're collecting. And they're like, oh, really? Okay. I've not checked how much gold we've all got. Not much. So I'd say like probably across the party we've got 15 gold pieces. Yeah, we want 7 gold pieces to come down. So, we now have 8 gold pieces. Because we rolled a pretty bad roll, they're going to want something. They're not inherently evil, and we're not in their territory. So they're like, well, make sure you don't go into our territory, and dangerous foe. Just steer clear of our territory, and you'll be. I mean, you're going to be dead anyway. Looking at you, so you kind of look them up and down, and they head back out of the area, and head on their merry way. I was concerned that they were some kind of auto attack faction, so glad to see they're not. The pyramid. Anything else that we need to wrap up here? Before we descend, we may as well descend the whole thing in one session, because otherwise you're gonna miss out. Well, you're not missing out. So up 3 goes to up 4, and then we head down to up 5. I don't know why they used UP. Up 5. These stairs descend some 350 foot into the heart of the complex of Toff, and eventually debauch. What on earth does that? I mean, I presume it means exit at. The word is debouch. Debauch. Debouche. At level 3-2. See the description of the stairs on 3-1. You could have just put the description of the stairs here, couldn't you? But no. No, you didn't. Level key. 3-1. The stairs leading down from the Great Pyramid are steep and cramped. They descend 350 foot and exit into whatever. The stairs will be okay. Well, they're not there now. They're the kind of like the darkened and sooted remains of frescoes on either side. Occasionally, you can catch the kind of form of the statue that stood at the top of the pyramid. And as we go down, there's an amount of graffiti. One catching the eyes. There's a faint primitive sketch of a biped with huge thighs and an amphibian head. An arrow points to its eyes with the caption, "Danger." Huh. That's interesting. Image of a biped with huge thighs, a muscle mummy, an amphibian and an amphibian head, arrow pointing to eyes, saying danger. I don't know how I draw an amphibian. Like a frog? Frogs amphibians? I think they are. I wonder if it's like a frog head. But not being like a reptile would be like a lizard's head. I don't know how I draw a frog head on top of a body. I'd probably just do like a stick person and be like, hams for legs. And be like, ah. And then like what do frog heads look like? They're kind of like a... They're like long tongues and eyes. Yeah. Danger. That looks more like a willy, doesn't it? Oh well. This is where we are. This is the quality of my art. We will reconvene. Oh wait, we've not got... Okay, yeah, so next we will enter into the glory of Toff. See you there. Have fun. Bye-bye.